So, tell us what you remember on the day of 9/11.
So I remember 9/11 very vividly. I was at school at DCS, and my husband called and said in the morning, it was probably 8 something, and said, get on the news. And I I panicked. I'm like, why did you want me to get on the news? And then I did, and I saw it, and I immediately went up and got my colleague and said, there's something bad happening. And so we at that point went into the library. It was when there was very little like internet news. It was more just watching it on TV. And that's when we used to have TVs that rolled around from class to class. And so the library had a TV on it. We went in there and we watched it and we saw what was happening. And we all sat there in silence. Our stomachs sank. The kids were in their classes. The teachers were teaching. And we sat there in disbelief of what we were seeing and continued to watch it. And then we switched gears and got into crisis team mode and realized at this point we are having a terrorist attack, and what do we do? So we met as a team immediately, started talking about what we need to do, getting a note out to the teachers in their classrooms who had no idea because they didn't have the luxury of getting on the news. And we told them in a note kind of what was happening. And then all I remember after that is we got through the day. The kids got home. The kids were being dismissed by the parents were coming in left and right, dismissing the kids early because nobody knew what was happening. They knew the Pentagon was a target, and and then we knew the Twin Towers were, and so the parents started dismissing their kids. Um, and then at that point, we were able to. I don't know. It was probably late in the afternoon, and it was almost dismissal, and the kids went home, and then we met for hours and discussed what do we do about tomorrow. We met early the next morning trying to figure out what do we do, what do we tell the kids, how do we do this, how do we navigate a terrorist attack. And then we became, we worked as a team and we figured out what we needed to say and do for our students. But I will never forget the phone call I got from my husband and said, get on the news, watched it, and then everything just changed. And when we all got home that afternoon, I remember sitting down on my couch just watching the news in absolute awe and terror of what I had seen. I was absolutely shocked.
Wow. And do you think the government should make it a federal holiday?
Absolutely. I do because I think it was such a horrible historical moment that changed the lives of so many people. And for years after that, we had um, many people, not just schools, acknowledge September 11th for years and years and years. And now we're, 19 years into it, and it hasn't been forgotten. It's now a history lesson that's taught, but it changed the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.